Week 5 of Season of the Seraph is upon us, and an old favourite hand cannon is up for grabs. Hi everyone, my name is Skyknight, and welcome to BlueberriesGG. This week, the Nightfall is the Glassway. This Nightfall contains Solar and Dark Elemental shields on higher difficulties, but there will be Void Minotaurs on lower difficulties. The Glassway comes with Barrier and Overload champions, so make sure to bring the classics like Arbalest or Divinity if you want to have an easy time in this Nightfall. Glassway is really easy until the boss room, which hits you like an absolute train. The boss room is split into 3 major sections with 2 areas providing good cover. So you basically need to play hide and seek, but there's just a million seekers, and only 3 of you. Dispatching each major enemy together as a team is key, as Wyverns, Overload champions, and Barrier champions can all ruin your day. The weapon dropping this week is the DFA. This kinetic hand cannon is a part of the adaptive archetype, meaning it fires at 140 rounds per minute. The DFA is a returning weapon from the Warmind DLC, and it returns into a highly contested spot in an unfavourable meta. In PvE, you're simply just not going to want to run a hand cannon, as they're honestly pretty awful. And unless you're doing some wacky stuff with Lucky Pants, which you really shouldn't be doing in the first place, I really wouldn't recommend DFA in PvE. In PvP, it does pick up slightly, but hand cannons kind of struggle in this meta too. This meta is dominated by weapons like No Time to Explain and Dead Man's Tale, making it rather challenging to use a hand cannon in this meta, as all good weapons are kind of long range. DFA also has ridiculously stiff competition. In the kinetic slot alone, it needs to contend with Austringer, Ias Luna, Rose, Ace of Spades, and The Last Word. All 5 of these weapons are excellent, and will outclass the DFA 9 times out of 10. In the energy slot you also have the new Trials hand cannon Exalted Truth, or the old Nightfall weapon Palindrome. Safe to say, DFA is kind of hard to make work, given that it is simply statistically outclassed by other weapons 99% of the time. Because of all this, we're going to give DFA a C tier rating. The gun isn't exactly bad, it just has too much competition in an unfavourable meta, and you can definitely do without it. That being said though, DFA is probably one of my personal favourite weapons in the entire game. It looks like a little Star Wars weapon, and honestly just feels amazing to use, so maybe give it a try and see where it takes you. For PvE, you've really only got a couple of options. Outlaw or Perpetual Motion in the first perk slot look pretty good to me, and Rampage or Wellspring are probably going to be the best for your other slot. Time Payload can work, but personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it in PvE. I prefer Explosive Payload, which DFA unfortunately cannot roll with. Your barrels and magazines really do not matter an awful lot here, because it doesn't really change how the gun feels. However, I'd maybe recommend looking for decent range just for quality of life, so Hammerforged Rifling and Accurized rounds will probably be your go-tos. In PvP, you do have a couple of different things you can do. DFA has pretty mediocre base stats, so you'll want to spec into options like Hammerforged Rifling and Accurized rounds to get that range stat as high as possible so that it can compete with some of the top hand cannon dogs. In terms of perks, Perpetual Motion in slot 1 is the only one that's really appealing to me, and in slot 2, you can go for Opening Shot or Time Payload. Time Payload is honestly just super annoying to play against and makes winning duels far easier just due to its delayed flinch. An Opening Shot right now is just an S++ tier perk on basically every weapon in the game, due to it literally aiming for you and giving you bonus range on top when the perk is active. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on so that you never miss a weekly upload. We're coming towards the end of the weekly rotation, with Wendigo being the only weapon still left to drop, so make sure to tune in next week to see the best rolls on that returning beast. As always, thank you for watching, and have a great day.